Holy shit. Mother, lowercase m exclamation point, is the newest Darren Aronofsky film, and boy do I have so much I want to talk about with this movie. Don't get the idea that I thought this movie was bad. It's not. It's a great movie. It's a great movie. Because of Darren Aronofsky, without his mind, this movie would not work. I have some issues with him as a director, as a whole. He's obviously made a couple bad movies, The Fountain and Noah. But even in his great movies, he has these moments where he can be very pretentious, where he's either like shoving symbolism and messages down your throat, or there are times where he'll think he's smarter than his audience, which is never a good mentality to have as a director. You should always think that your audience is an intelligent group of people, and I think sometimes he doesn't see them as that. He sees them as people that need to be spoon-fed all this shit, and that's not how it should be. I didn't feel that at all with this movie, however. This movie is really, really, really great. It is crafted masterfully. There is a ton of stuff at play with this movie. There's so much to unravel with it. There's so much to think about with it. It's a movie I'm definitely going to have in my mind for the next couple days, because it's just pure insanity. It's what I would give to see the script and to see the storyboard for this movie. I imagine it has to be crazy. It's just Darren Aronofsky's mind spilled onto the screen, and it's really kind of crazy to watch. Like I said, this movie doesn't work without him. He is the heart and soul behind it. He has this really great vision that you can kind of tell going into this movie. He was like, okay, I want this film to look like this. I want this to feel like this. I want this to have this everything. You can tell he had this 100% vision for how he wanted everything to play out. Every scene, every moment, every line of dialogue. You can tell he's a perfectionist in that regard because of how everything turns out in this film. It just, like, you could, even with the production design, like, everything is so specific to look a certain way and to feel a certain way and to convey certain things. It's just how he is as a director. You watch all of his movies and they're kind of like that, but this one specifically is very down-packed, nailed down. This is how it's going to be, and it really works in that. There's a style that he's using throughout the entire film, using Jennifer Lawrence's character. I don't want to spoil. It's not really spoiling it. Like, basically, the whole thing is that you never really leave her side. You're always kind of with her. She's always there. You're either looking through her point of view, or you're like the camera is with her, but you never really leave her side, and that's really interesting. The way this movie's trying to do things, you're always with this character, which is how the movie should play out, considering, like, everybody around her almost thinks this is all normal, and she's the one that's like, what the fuck is going on? This is insanity, and that's how you feel. So they're letting you connect to the one character that feels the same way the audience does, which is how this kind of movie should play out. I guess in regards to that, I'll talk about the performances. They're all great. People are very mixed on Jennifer Lawrence. Not in this movie, I'm talking as a whole. I like her. I think she's fine. I think she's a great actress in certain things. I hate the Hunger Games movies. I hate everything about them. I hate her in them, and I hate the movies, but I don't really blame her for those movies. But, like, when she's given a great script, like Silver Linings Playbook, or when she's... Even when they kind of just tell her, do what you're going to do, like in American Hustle, she really manages to show that she's got some really, really great acting chops in her. Do I love her in every role she does? Absolutely not, but I think she's definitely a talented actress. She's great in this. Javier Bardem is great in this. He is a phenomenal actor. We all know that from him. Ed Harris does a great job in this movie. Michelle Pfeiffer does a great job in this movie. Everyone's kind of talking about her, too. She's #1 on Gold Derby right now to win the Oscar. I think that's an interesting prediction. Specifically because usually the Oscars like in the supporting categories to look at performers who aren't in a crazy ton of the movie. Like you look at Anne Hathaway for Les Mis, Lupita Nyong'o for 12 Years a Slave, most recently like Mahershala Ali for Moonlight. and Michelle Pfeiffer's in a fair amount of this movie, but she's not start to finish in the entire thing. So I don't think it's that far out there that she could be nominated. Winning could be a little bit of a stretch right now, but no, I think at least one of these guys will probably be nominated for this movie. I think it's a fair bet. I'd like to see how time plays out with that. That's my little Oscar spiel for this movie. I don't see it in the Best Picture category. I don't see it getting a Best Director nomination. That's my little Oscar part. Anyway, performances are all great. They all highlight the characters excellently. It's hard to like talk about development in characters because they're so out there. Like it's pure lunacy in terms of their characters, and it's hard to talk about, you know, setup with them and development with them because they're so out there. I don't know. It's hard. It's a little hard to describe. But like I said, everything about this movie is so down-packed. The production design in terms of how they built the house and the set, how that all looks and how it works in regards to how the film is shot and how it looks and how it feels is really impressive. The lighting even reflects some of that kind of stuff, and the editing reflects that kind of stuff. And, you know, technically this movie really, really works. And a big strong suit for this film is the tone. The tone is consistent throughout the entire film, which is really, really great, because the feeling you're supposed to have the entire time is uneasiness. You're never supposed to feel safe or secure, and you never do. For the entire 2 hours you're watching this movie, you're kind of terrified. You're sort of like leaned back in your seat, waiting for what's going to happen next to happen. You're always feeling like something crazy is about to happen, and most commonly, it does. There's that payoff because this movie is balls to the wall insane. But the tone always works in this movie. You're always feeling uneasy. You're always kind of feeling scared. Would I call this movie a horror movie? No. It starts out as one. The first 30 minutes of this movie are pretty horror-esque, but it becomes something completely different after that. I don't even know what category I'd place it in. Calling it a thriller is wrong. Calling it a drama is kind of wrong. Mystery a little bit. It's weird to place in a category, but calling the whole movie a horror film is sort of a stretch. But the tone, like I said, really works with this thing. The pacing is great. The pacing feels very natural the whole way through. The pacing really, really, really works with this movie. You can go from this crazy, crazy scene to this really intimate scene with characters and well-written dialogue, excuse me. I don't know, that just feels very natural with this movie, in a movie where everything is supposed to feel unnatural. The beginning is edited very quickly, but it sort of matches with the feeling you're supposed to have with the entire film, and then things start getting longer and longer, and the pacing is doing more. So I think that was kind of an interesting technique that they used while working on this movie, and I really liked the way they did that. The only kind of, it's not even an issue, the only thing I noticed about this movie is the ending is either so complex that I didn't grasp it on my first viewing, or it is Darren Aronofsky trying to be like, oh man, this would be really cool, but not giving it the time of day that it deserved and the thought that it needed. Maybe I have to see it again. I don't really want to, because it's you'll see it and you'll understand. It's one of those movies that you see and you're like, I don't want to fucking see that again. I might watch some analysis videos on it. I don't know, that could just be me and a first time viewing of it, but it was kind of just a weird thing. I get where they were trying to go with it, but upon thinking more logistically about it, it's a little strange. I'm finding it difficult to understand, I guess. I don't know, it's a little janky. But as a whole, this movie really, really works. Everything is down-packed. Darren Aronofsky knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what everything should be, and that all really does play out, except for the ending, unless I'm just stupid, which is entirely possible. Recommending this movie is hard, because this movie's not for everybody. It's brutal. This movie is brutal as all get out. Be ready for that. If you're not, you're gonna be sick to your stomach. I was ready for it. I knew it was gonna be pretty brutal. I knew, by the way, bare minimum going into this movie. I don't think I'd seen a trailer for it. I knew the IMDb little plot thing. That's about all I knew about this movie. But it is just crazy. And it's brutal. It's pretty gory at times. It's pretty rough. Just, if you're gonna go see it, know what you're getting into. That's my recommendation for it. That's all I'm going to say. So, what did you guys think? Have you seen Mother? Have you not seen Mother? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.
Is this a nature documentary?
So what are we going to go see?
We're gonna go see Mother, lowercase m exclamation point.
Are you excited for Mother?
No,
Why?
because it's gonna ruin my life.
Is it because it's rated R for strong, disturbing, violent content?
Yeah. That's probably why. Also, a runner just scared me, and I'm pretty sure I'm on the brink of a panic attack anyway.
This movie's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, I know. I'm just gonna go and... Why did we do this?
How are you feeling?
Why did we go?
How do you feel?
Why did we do this? Oh my god. This is horrible. Why would anyone go see this? This is so bad. I mean, it's like amazing, but it's so awful. Oh my god. Why did we do this? Why?